Hey everyone, today is January 20th, 2026, and we're going to be walking through the Hudson Yards on one of the most dangerously cold nights in New York City. Currently, right now, it is -8 degrees. With the wind chill, it feels like -13. And I'm not sure if you could hear the wind, but it's freaking brutal outside. So let's go ahead and make this left and actually head away from the Hudson Yards, or maybe I'll just do a quick loop around to show you guys the vessel, and then we'll go ahead and head towards Midtown Manhattan, particularly to 34th Street, Penn Station. At the beginning of the video, I just showed you the main headquarters of BlackRock. BlackRock has now moved their New York City headquarters right here to the Hudson Yards at 50 Hudson Yards, and that's been one of the main trends that we've been talking about, is big organizations and big companies moving towards Class A office towers. There's been a lot of new Class A office towers coming to market, and there should even be some more in the pipeline, including a site that we'll see a little bit later on in the video, which is 15 Penn, which is right across the street from the one and only Penn 2 project. It sits on the original site of the Hotel Pennsylvania that has been taken down. Gosh, the wind is crazy. That's the one thing about Hudson Yards.
I just left it as, overlap
that I really don't like.
Development migrated, but
It's just too windy.
to the
You look at, oh my gosh, I can't even talk. Whew, okay, we had a little bit of relief. But there we were looking towards the vessel. And now we're right at the main entrance to BlackRock, which is 50 Hudson Yards. And you can see just how gorgeous the lobby is. I mean, look at that. Now, the CEO of BlackRock is currently not here. He is at Davos with all the other big wigs. We'll go ahead and make a right on 34th Street. And we'll start to head away from the Hudson River. It's always going to be colder the closer you get to either the Hudson River or, of course, the East River. Now, this building we're looking at right here is the new headquarters for Pfizer. If you've been watching many of our walking tours here on Walks and Wall Street, we've been covering the old Pfizer headquarters that sits just east of the Chrysler building. And that is going to be the largest office to residential conversion project in the history of not only New York City, but the United States. And Pfizer has now migrated to the beautiful Hudson Yards, where they enjoy state-of-the-art amenities in their new Class A office tower. Now, as we're walking eastbound on 34th Street, you can see this beautiful view of the New Yorker Hotel sign I'll try to zoom right into the main front entrance of Pfizer. You can see the Pfizer logo inside the lobby there on the right. As we push back again to 10th Avenue. You might notice the scarcity of people out tonight on this walk, mainly because it's just too cold to be outside. Now, there is a significant weather event that everybody is monitoring and watching, and this could be pretty cataclysmic, and that's not being a sensationalist. By the weekend, a massive storm that's pretty much going to cover about a quarter of the United States could slam parts of Texas all the way sweeping over to the East Coast. Now, we don't yet know if New York City is going to get any of that snow, but if the storm does shift a little bit to the north, New York City could be looking at 6 inches of snow. In many parts of the country, they're looking at potentially 2 feet of snow, which is just crazy. I always get nervous when those storms come, particularly to Texas, as Texas is run by their own grid, ERCOT, and we all know what happened last time with the big storm. And here you have it. This is 50 Hudson Yards, a little bit closer to the entrance of BlackRock. Many people get BlackRock and Blackstone mixed up, particularly, the President of the United States just made a statement saying that he wants to ban institutional investors from purchasing single-family homes. And I always get a kick and a little bit of a laugh when a lot of people say that. Oftentimes the big institutional investors and private equity will oftentimes be scapegoated and blamed as the reason why housing isn't affordable. But if you look at the overall breakdown, institutional ownership of single-family homes is less than 15%. So in the grand scheme of things, institutional investors are not to blame as to why single-family home prices are so high. Of course, BlackRock is just an asset manager. Blackstone is a private equity giant. BlackRock's CEO is Larry Fink, and Blackstone's CEO and founder is Stephen Schwarzman. Oftentimes we'll talk about Stephen Schwarzman as it relates to the New York Public Library, the main flagship on 5th Avenue, right by Bryant Park. Stephen Schwarzman made a $100 million donation, I believe in 2008, to completely renovate the beautiful New York Public Library building. You can kind of see the entrance to the tunnel from here. But more exciting than that, you're all going to see really, really great views of the Empire State Building tonight. Now, if you look at all of these older pre-war buildings here, This is pretty much what the Hudson Yards area used to look like. In addition, there was a lot of auto body shops and auto mechanic shops before the Hudson Yards was the Hudson Yards. Many of you, if you're a New Yorker, you might remember the drive-through McDonald's that used to be right on the corner of 10th Avenue. I remember when I would walk to school, I would get off at Penn Station, right over here, and then sometimes I would walk and get a biscuit in the morning before class. Here's a really nice Rolls Royce here. You could always tell it's freezing in New York City when you have the steam pouring out of the vents here. Again, the Lincoln Tunnel there. And look at that. Incredible shot. This is a relatively new restaurant. PJ Clark's. Obviously, I believe the most famous PJ Clark's is right there at Lincoln Center. But I'm sure the Hudson Yards location of PJ Clark's, which is right here, will do quite well, particularly as you have a lot of the Wall Street firms moving close to the Hudson Yards. We are now in what's called Manhattan West. There's going to be these two massive office towers here. You have one Manhattan West and two Manhattan West. And just look at the difference, guys, between, a Class B or C office tower and then a Class A office tower. I mean, just so much room. The ceiling heights are extremely dramatic here. Lots of modernist type furniture, but I mean, just look at the ceiling heights inside these monstrous Class A office towers. This is, I believe, one Manhattan West, and then the other one you'll have two Manhattan West. A very notable hedge fund, which is a quantitative hedge fund, D.E. Shaw, that was founded by David Shaw, recently vacated 1166 Avenue of the Americas and have now moved into Manhattan West. Again, it's just the ongoing trend of businesses wanting upgraded office space. So there's an extreme and there's also an interesting bifurcation in the office market in New York, because many people think that commercial office space is not doing well, but it's actually doing exceptionally well. But it's doing exceptionally well at the very, very high end of the market. Businesses are willing to pay an extreme premium, okay? An extreme premium for Class A office space. Here you can see EY Accenture is in here. So as more Class A office space comes to the market, you're going to be able to command a significant premium in terms of the price per rentable square foot. I've seen some of these go for as high as, $290 a rentable square foot. There's rumors that 175 Park Avenue, which is going to be built where the current Grand Hyatt is, that's probably going to command maybe 300 plus. So it is significant. Now, across the street, you have B&H. This is one of my favorite stores in all New York City. It sits on the corner of West 33rd Street and 9th Avenue. This is where I get a lot of my camera equipment to film what you guys are watching right now. Essentially, B&H is what powers this channel, Walks and Wall Street. In any event, this is now 9th Avenue, and what you're looking at right now is the Moynihan train hall. You'll also see the James Farley Post Office, but if you wanted to just zoom up right here, you'd be able to get the Long Island Railroad, New Jersey Transit, and Amtrak trains. There's a brand new Amtrak terminal and lounge. It's called the Amtrak Metropolitan Lounge, and it's beautiful. This restaurant just recently opened. It's called Avra. There's also a location of Avra right outside Radio City Music Hall. Obviously nobody's dining outside tonight, but could you imagine on a nice summer night leaving the office and having a nice drink and looking at the Empire State Building as well as Madison Square Garden. Quite the iconic silhouette of the Empire. Now, as we get closer to Madison Square Garden, coming into view is going to be the brand new Penn 2 project put on by Vornado. And we're going to be checking out the construction site where they tore down the old Pennsylvania Hotel, or Hotel Pennsylvania, and that should be 15 Penn. That is apparently a tremendous 1,000-foot office tower that is yet to be built. The last I've read, that project is currently on hold. But I can only imagine what the New York City skyline is going to look like once that is complete. Here you have the 33rd Street entrance to Moynihan Train Hall. Here you could also have direct access to the James Farley Post Office. And then if you go down, you can get the main Moynihan food hall, which is quite good. Again, a very New York view of the Empire State Building and Madison Square Garden. I really like how they closed down 33rd Street altogether between 8th Avenue and 7th. So there is no more through traffic. And in its place, they made Plaza 33. So in the summer, you even have outdoor seating. You have free musical performances that you could enjoy outside. And it's a much better use of space than just having a bunch of cars drive through. I think that's just going to be yet another step to revitalize the Penn District. And now we are approaching 8th Avenue and 33rd Street. From here, since this is the 8th Avenue side, you can get the AC&E trains. Now on 7th Avenue, that's going to be closer to the 1, 2, and 3 trains. So if you're ever in the main Penn Station concourse, just remember, if you want to get the 1 train, the 2, or the 3, stay close to 7th Avenue. However, if you want to get the A, C, and E trains, stay closer to 8th. Once we have the light, we'll go ahead and cross, and we'll explore a little bit of the Penn 2 project as well as Plaza 33 as we walk past the old Amtrak terminal entrance. But I always like looking over the post office. It's such a beautiful building in terms of the architecture. Here you have it, Penn Station. If you go right down here, that'll be the old Amtrak concourse as well as New Jersey Transit. Now, I always recommend, if you're taking an international flight, I've been flying out of Newark a lot when I travel internationally. And it's quite easy because you could take the New Jersey Transit to Newark International Airport. It's seamless getting there, very, very easy, particularly when I'm traveling to Asia, specifically Korea. You can get discounted tickets flying out of Newark from Air Premia. Oftentimes I could get a round trip from Newark to Incheon, Seoul, for $800.
You can't see it on your own. Bro, I got mad, man.
I can feel it.
I was actually...
We're now coming up on the back side of the Penn 2 project. And to the left here you have Penn 1. This has also gone under a total renovation. But I want to stand in the middle of the street for a moment because I want to give you guys some perspective on 1 Manhattan West and 2 Manhattan West. Now those were those tremendous Class A office towers that we walked past the lobby. Look at how tremendous they are. I usually, I consider that the gateway to Hudson Yards. And this building here, that's brand new. This is Penn 2. And I believe Major League Soccer, or the MLS, recently signed a pretty big lease here. And there's also a brand new entrance to Madison Square Garden. Once we get on the sidewalk here, this will officially be Plaza 33. It's a little bit desolate now because it's freezing out, but in the summer this is really, really enjoyable. You have a lot of tables and chairs that are set up here. Everything is beautiful marble and stone. They really did a nice job here. And then usually all of these chairs are out in the plaza. But again, weather permitting. This is the brand new entrance to the Long Island Railroad. Just look at how futuristic and modern it looks. I think they just did a fantastic job.
They have a family business with hotels in Arkansas.
Lots of different restaurants. Here you have a Los Tacos. You have the entrance to the 1, 2, and 3 trains. Remember, this is 7th Avenue now. And then this big empty vacant lot you see with the big luminescent advertisements. That is where the old Hotel Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania Hotel, was. And apparently there's going to be another super tall 1,000-foot office tower that is currently delayed that will go right here. Maybe I'll quickly just take you guys down into the new Penn Station just to, number one, show you, but number two, just to let me get out of the cold for a second. You'll notice just how large the space is here. Also, the ceiling heights are tremendous.
Long Island Railroad Penn Station. Please be careful while riding the escalator. Please watch your step getting on the line. Please keep your feet and while you're protecting the sides of the escalator. Please watch your step and face forward at all times. Please hold on to the handrail while riding the escalator.
All right, here we are. This is where you get all the LIRR tracks. If you were to walk all the way to the back there and go up the escalator, that will take you right to the New Jersey Transit Concourse, where you could transfer to the air train and go straight to Newark Airport. And just look at how open and airy and lively it looks in here. It looks great. They've definitely done a great job on the renovation. And there's tons of food options. I mean, from here, Dos Toros, Shake Shack. You have a Raising Cane's. You have a Rose Pizza, Starbucks, and you even have a Chick-fil-A. So everything you can imagine, they got it in the brand new Penn Station. Another cool feature is right as you're going up the escalator, you're looking right at the spire of the Empire State Building. You also notice a minor detail. Around the entire section here, you have a map of New York that includes the map of Long Island. It's obviously of the Long Island Railroad, so you'll see all of the different lines, the Babylon line. That's the line I used to take. I think it would go Jamaica, Rockville Center, Baldwin, Freeport, Belmore, Wantagh, Seaford, Massapequa Park, Amityville, Copiague, Lindenhurst, and Babylon.
Yeah, no.
VIP seats like what?
Looks like St. John's is playing tonight. So this Sbarro's is finally closed. I mean, this has been open since I was a little kid, and it's finally shuttered for good. Oh my gosh, the wind again. All right, we're now coming up on 34th Street. And we'll go ahead and make a right. Go ahead and walk over towards 34th Street, Herald Square. We'll be right outside the main Macy's that you see just off to the left. And if you were to make a right, that would lead you down towards 32nd Street, Korea Way. I believe this new coffee company, Mocha & Co., is a Yemeni coffee place. Looks pretty good. Passing the main Target.
Staying warm.
Yo, I know you got more clothes, bro.
Oh, look at the building here with the scaffolding finally all removed. Feels like the scaffolding's been up on that building for 10 years, it seems. This is now Herald Square. You can get the B, D, F, M, N, Q, R, and W trains. This is now looking uptown. If you look all the way in the distance, you'll be able to see the World Trade Center. Tons of traffic police. I always feel extra bad for those guys and girls because it is dangerously cold out. And those people are out for hours at a time just standing in the street. Yeah, very clear visibility tonight. We're now on the corner of 33rd Street and 6th Avenue. And again, if you look all the way downtown, you have that picture-perfect shot of the World Trade Center.
The first meeting is just figuring out the plan.
We're now coming up on 32nd Street. You also see the entrance to the PATH train. PATH train will take you out to New Jersey. We'll be headed out there next week. We'll be checking out Jersey City as well as Hoboken, New Jersey. I haven't been out there since the pandemic. Now enter Greeley Square. And this is Mishwe. I'm not too sure how many people want to be eating Mishwe tonight, as it's freezing. Usually they have the little guy out here. But it seems even too cold for the little Mishwe guy. Now entered New York City's Koreatown. Not too sure if this place is open yet, but it's a Korean casual buffet. I think they're still doing some work and some maintenance on the inside. Great shot at the Empire. This is a really good bakery just off to the left. It's called Two de Jour. That was a really nice Tesla Model Y that guy had. I think it was a Model Y, the red one. So I'll quickly zoom in across the street. This is Two de Jour. This is a Korean brand also. Many people think it's French. It's not. It does have a Korean owner. It's the same thing with Paris Baguette. Paris Baguette is a Korean brand. It doesn't matter if it's cold, hot, Monday or Saturday. For better or for worse, Koreatown is usually busy, as there's a lot of nightlife and things like that. This is more like Japanese. The whole sidewalk is just salt from the snowstorm we've had the past few days. This spot is really good. It's called Woody Ship. And it's kind of like Korean home cooking. It's prepared meals, prepared Korean meals. You can get it to stay or to go. And it's really affordable. And I believe about 30 minutes before closing, they give you 50% off the food, I think. Maybe 20%, 20 or 50, forget. That's because everything is made and prepared fresh, same day. It was the Two de Jour. $15.99 ramen's not horrendous, but I went to like this karaoke thing for one of my friends' birthdays. I just stopped by real quick, and it's really crazy how expensive it is in Manhattan, because if you've been to South Korea, the karaoke, it's like the equivalent of 10 cents for like an hour. It's called like the coin karaoke. But you could spend, hundreds of dollars in New York City doing the karaoke. That's Hana Bank. It's a major Korean bank. Korean equity indice, the Korean KOSPI, KOSPI, was one of the best performing equity indices globally of 2025. Asian markets in general performed quite strong. Since we're here, let's go down to 31st Street, because I want to take you past two of my favorite Korean restaurants that are not technically in Koreatown, but it's on 31st Street. This is now 31st. We'll go ahead and make a right and continue to walk under more scaffolding.
It's like I have these super long days, and I never.
Oye, pero esa gente me quiere a mí bastante, Uber. Te lo juro que me quiere bastante. Uber, no,
And once we pass this Arlo Hotel, we will be right in front of Take 31. As well as Her Name is Han. Two restaurants that I'd highly, highly recommend. It's also a very, very fun time. I believe Take 31 now is open sometimes even to 2 o'clock in the morning, perhaps. And then here's the restaurant, Her Name is Han. It's the same owner.
Oh my god, yeah. Where you don't even have to.
It does look like it's busy, which is good news. But for our sake, we're gonna mosey our way back over towards 5th Avenue. This is also another new place. I don't think I've seen this. Ho Woo. Maybe I'll have to try it.
Uber, te lo voy a decir a ti, lo que lo hace feliz a uno no es nada. Eso fue una prueba de amor que si tu gente quiere esa mujer a la vida,
Back on 5th. If you guys enjoyed tonight's walking tour in the brutal, hellish cold, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and as always, we will see you in the next one, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.